What's going on, Z Warriors? MrWaffles here, and we're back with another segment of MrWaffles Deck Doctor. So again, sorry I haven't posted on one in a while. I was waiting for someone to commentate. It didn't really fall through, but we'll just keep going with it for sure. So right now we have Tim Bach's Blue Godku Beats deck. So just a little overview on Blue Godku Beats. It's simply using the high attack power stages of Godku as well as the high physical attacks that Blue has. A lot of AT plus 5 cards mixed with the draw power of Goku to help you hopefully get another attack or just to keep hand advantage and control aspect of Blue. So it works really well. It has a lot of synergy because blue, it lets you discard a card to stop a physical or energy depending which one you use. And then with Godku you get to draw a card, so it's almost like a free stop plus you get the card back, even though it's a cost of 2 life. Um, but we're gonna look into the deck and we're gonna see his deck on the left, and then the revised deck on the right. So Tim was running for physical combats 2 blue betrayal, 3 blue lunge, 3 blue bat attack, 3 blue leaping kick, 3 blue face smash, 3 blue trap strike, 3 blue round throw, 3 blue head knock for physical blocks, 1 blue wrist block, 2 blue swift block, 3 blue leverage. I think blue face smash is actually supposed to be blue face crunch. Um, sorry. And for energy combat, he was running 1 blue terror and 3 blue guard. For events, 1 time, 2 confrontation, 3 blue fair, and 3 blue shift and maneuver. For setups, 1 dragon radar, 2 visiting the past, 2 blue trick, 3 blue stretch kick, and 3 blue blockade. For drills, 1 blue biting drill, 1 blue lifting drill, 2 blue positioning drill, sorry. And for Dragon Balls, he's running Dynamic Dragon Balls 3, 5, and 7. So those are some things I like about his deck, some things I didn't like. One of them being just 2 blue betrayal. I'm not fond of that at all. Reason being, you have a lot of setups, and Nappa can be a problem, especially with Ginyu, where they can just take a lot of the stages off the allies. So it really makes your physical attacks less impactful for the most part. So sure, you can crit them with like blue fair and stuff like that, but you want to kind of get rid of the problem permanently, and it's a way to get rid of drills and setups. So it's just good board removal. Plus, Goku is pretty high up there, so the AT stages can actually do some damage, probably like +4 or something like that, compared to just doing nothing or like one stage with other MPs. So Blue Betrayal would definitely be a card I would max out. Um, Blue Trap Strike, I'm not really a fan of when you only have 3 Dragon Balls. It doesn't seem like it would really fit or just be dead most of the time. So I don't like the conjunction of the 3 blue trap strike with just 3 Dragon Balls, because that's essentially 1 trap strike for each Dragon Ball. I played all 7 when I had like my initial build back when Set 2 was just released, and I ran all 7 Dragon Balls with 3 blue trap strike, and even then it wasn't very efficient. It's just a lot of times they were still dead for the most part. Um, I mean, blue wrist block and swift block. I mean, wrist block, I guess, to get rid of, I guess, setups or something like that. But you have, if you bump up the betrayal, it can kind of take that spot. Blue guard was a card I actually kind of, I was like iffy about. I always love the draw aspect, especially when you're going against black when they use a mastery and then they go -1 and you go even. But with the milling of Godku, if you use it, plus just damage throughout the game, um, just drawing those other cards can really lead you to a more milling defeat in terms of life deck count. And Blue Blockade, I felt was not really needed. It's kind of slow. You really want to kind of go in with this deck for the most part. And again, you only have 22 endurance, so it's kind of hard to really make sure those balls stay. If anything, I would probably up the blue trick if I was him. And then, 2 Confrontation wasn't too much of a fan of, just because you can actually get an extra card with Goku. So being able to use Confrontation and use Goku's power, you can almost just make sure your physical attacks really go through and stuff like that. So here's my deck on the right that I decided to make some changes to. So I'm running 3 Devastating Blow, 2 Wall Breaker, 3 Blue Betrayal, 3 Blue Lunge, 3 Blue Leaping Kick, 3 Blue Face Crunch, 3 Blue Round Throw, 3 Blue Head Knock, and for physical defense is 3 Blue Crouch. For energy combat, 1 Blue Terror, 1 Blue Defensive Stand, 3 Blue Neck Beam, and 3 Blue Narrow Escape. For events, 1 time, 3 Confrontation, 3 Blue Fear, 3 blue shifting maneuver, and for setups, 1 dragon radar, 1 heroic plan, 2 visiting the past, and 3 blue trick. For drills, 1 blue mental drill, 1 blue biting drill, 1 blue lifting drill, 2 blue positioning drill. And for Dragon Balls, I'm running 3, 5, 6, and 7. So my deck on the right, what it's really supposed to do is give you control, more control. So that's why we have the Devastating Blows and Wall Breaker. Even though it's blue, again, blue only really has one card to really lower anger to 0, which is Head Knock. Outside of that, they don't really have a lot of cards that just like lower anger every time. So Wall Breaker is one of those cards that can really help you. And with the amount of endurance, which I have is 42, it'll be really hard to kind of get through and deal critical damage, as well as trying to go through the mastery because you can just stop one attack per turn. So make sure that when you land a Wall Breaker on, say, Namekian Piccolo, that it sticks there for the most part. A devastating blow again, Ginyu is a problem. So to be able to lower anger as well as graveyard control, I thought it was just essential, especially when you have D-discs and things like that. You can just get rid of them. So I think 3 devastating blow is worth the slot. Plus, you actually get some value out of it from the attack table stages because of how strong God Goku is. So it's not just like a physical attack +1. It's like a physical attack that can do probably like 6 stages, and you get all these cool effects as well. For energy combats, um, again, 1 blue defensive stance. I was just didn't have much room, so I figured I can just throw that in. We have like a pretty big energy meta right now, so to be able to control opponent's anger with that card, I think is really good, especially against Krillin, since you want to try and get them out of level 1 if they're playing the more control variant. So that's why you also have 3 blue Neck Beam. Neck Beam is also a card to help you because you can ditch it with leaping kick or fair or something like that, and then you or the mastery, and then you get to gain your stages. So with Godku, again, he has high power stages, but if his power stages are low, then his attacks are not hitting for as much. So neck beam ensures that you can, if you discard it to gain stages, which is good, and then if you use it against certain decks, it can really cripple them, especially like going against a Piccolo deck. You can neck beam them down a level or something like that. With Krillin, you can neck beam it up. So I figured that's why I added defensive stance should also just kind of raise the anger a bit more as well against Krillin. And Blue Narrow Escape just because of one, the endurance, and to be able to stack neck beam and defensive stance and cards like that back on top of your deck, I thought was a really good card. Even if Krillin uses Destructible Disc, you can still use the effect of Narrow Escape. It wouldn't stop it, but instead of taking 5 life, you would just take 3. So, because you get to put 2 cards back. So, it's still just a good card all around. I added third Confrontation because, again, to be able to see your opponent's hand, you already have 1 extra card than them with Godku. So, the Confrontation isn't a 1-for-1. It actually turns out to be like a +1 depending on what card you get rid of. And then you could use Goku's power to replace the Confrontation back and to be able to attack some more. Um, I added Heroic Plan just to toolbox into any of the setups. I might take it out. Might seem a little bit redundant and maybe taking like a blue leverage or something like that. Um, so I just added also another trick. Little brain fart. I was just gonna say with Heroic Plan, it's one of those cards where you can pretty much get any drill, any setup that you need. So I can see myself taking it out, but it's just a good toolbox card. And the third blue trick, just because Namekian is a thing, Ball Krillin is a thing, so to be able just to take the Dragon Balls outside of Krillin with blue fair or damage can really swing the ball. I guess the ball match in your favor. So they take it, you can take it back, and you can also stack it back with blue position drill. For the drill section, I added blue mental drill because to be able to see your opponent's hand, I don't think it's redundant with Confrontation because Confrontation gets to put away a card, or Blue Face Crunch, so you get to look through your opponent's hand a lot in this deck. But Blue Mental Drill, I think, is a card that, one, has endurance, and two, is one of those cards that it can help you just set up better so you know what to block more efficiently and what not to. So I think Mental Drill is definitely a good card. And Position Drill, of course, I like because to be able to stack some stuff on top and then use Godku's power. So instead of losing 2 life, you actually just lose like 1 life. And for the Dragon Balls, I added Ball 6 because, again, certain decks, can be your arch nemesis because you want to deal as much damage. but at the same time you also want to gain stages, and you want to have stages available so that way you can deal that damage. So I figured Ball 6 was the card just to help you gain the power stages to gain 5. So if you're going against a physical beatdown deck, it would help you in that aspect as well as being able to stay on par and dish out more damage. So this is pretty much the deck in a nutshell. What I'm going to do for the deck doctor is going to have a separate video so that way the videos aren't like an hour and some long. Uh, I know some people might like it, some people might not. I just want to make it easier for you guys so that way you can have a more more sectionized segment of the deck doctor, so it's not like an hour long kind of video. So I'm gonna have a video that's gonna be not included in this, but it's just gonna be its own separate thing. So if you guys want to check out how this match fares up with a deck that I played against Octagon, I'll link you guys to it so that way you guys can check it out. So this is the blue Godku Beast deck. We almost doubled the endurance, which is always good, as well as I felt we increased the damage output. Um, I blue bad attack for it's not a bad card. I just thought there were better cards you can put in for it for the most part. Again, you want to be able to control in all aspects. With blue, you're already controlling with anger. With Godku, you're controlling the stages or energy attacks because you're almost stage locking them because you're dealing a lot of damage. Um, and then just being able to control also with balls and drills and all that stuff. Uh, I took out the stretch kicks again just because more setup. You really want to try and go in your opponent. You don't want to leave them with a lot of turns passing. You want to make sure that you can try and get like a good early lead and kind of stabilize if need be. But I would say one of the weaknesses with this deck is it can draw dead at sometimes. Being able to have big powerful attacks is good, but with Godku's effect, you don't always get the card that you need. It's not like Raditz where you get to pick and choose to make it more consistent. It's a card that you have to use very carefully, and you shouldn't use it all the time. Again, if I feel like the card I'm going to draw is not going to be anything of use, then I wouldn't use his power. So at that point, you're just kind of killing yourself to death. So I would say for sure just to use his his effect very sparingly. Don't try to abuse it every chance you get. Like enter combat, use Goku. It's definitely a power you want to save because it's more of a passive power. So meaning that if your opponent's like doing something or waiting for you to do something, you can just use Godku just to bait out your opponent and see what they're gonna do next or something like that. Or if you want to use like a big attack against black, but you know that you're gonna lose your a card in your hand, you can use Godku to get that extra card and then use your attack. And then if they master, you can just ditch whatever just to make sure you don't end up handless or something like that. So those are little like tips and tricks I would say for the deck. Otherwise, some similarities, some differences. Again, blockade I felt was just kind of redundant. It was just pretty slow because you're blocking, but you want to make sure that you're dealing damage as well. So I rather just focus on being more aggressive. And worst comes to worst, I can always stop an attack with my mastery. We do have like the 3 Omni blocks plus time, plus a lot of cards with endurance. So I think you know the build on the right is just more solid in the sense that you have other ways to win more consistently. You don't have a bunch of setups and things like that to kind of hold you back from going aggressive, especially if you use Godku's power, where you destroy the top card and then you draw into like a setup or drill. So we want to try and minimize that as much as possible. And some cool combos with the deck. You can leap and kick like lift and drill put into play, or Dragon Ball to go under the deck. Some cool things like that. So that's pretty much my version of the blue Godku beats. Again, this is just my take on it. You can fiddle around with it however you like. I just try to cater to the meta and really try to deal with all aspects of the game. Then again, everything's going to change when set 3 comes around and organized play starts. So who knows what's going to happen, but again, this is MrWaffles Deck Doctor. If you want another deck, just let me know and remember to message me on Facebook or on YouTube. And just remember to like, comment, and subscribe. So this is MrWaffles signing out. Take care, guys. Peace.